Police all over the... Not before Gam Gam is. Listen, if we going, they going first. So they just gonna provide the soft landing. If we going, they going first. I guarantee you, because it ain't no way in the world they gonna make it before I do. If I'm not making it to heaven, they definitely ain't gonna make it. I know Gam Gam ain't gonna make it to heaven because Gam Gam was a slut in her day. Anyways, police all over the country. It's a shortage. And y'all grandparents is full of the devil. Y'all grandparents did some of the wildest stuff, and y'all think that just because they old, they all sweet and helpful. No, they not. Gam Gam is going to bust hell wide open. The devil is waiting on your grandmother to get there. That's a fact. That's a whole fact. The devil, let me say it again for the people in the back that don't get it. The devil is waiting on your grandmother and your great-grandfather because they was out here selling drugs, running numbers, tearing up the streets, having children out of wedlock, busting it down for a real one, stealing, killing, feeling on the cheering. Pops, Paw, he was nasty. And he got children all over the state. You're not going to tell me that he going to make it before I make it because I know I lived a better life than Paw. Paw is full of the devil and the devil waiting on that nigga. And he waiting on your grandma too. Anyways, police is a shortage all over the country. Let's check it out.
The LAPD has long been considered one of the most understaffed major city police departments in America, making the current staffing crisis all the more troubling for the top brass.
Chief, is it fair to say you are severely understaffed?
Absolutely.
Recruitment now a critical issue for interim police chief Dominic Choi. Among the three largest cities, Chicago and New York have about twice as many cops per capita, while Los Angeles is far more vast.
But Chicago, here's the part about it though. Chicago, let me see this again.
Cops per capita, while Los Angeles is far more vast.
The thing about Chicago is that I just did a story on this 2 weeks ago. And Chicago is over 2,000 police officers understaffed. The Democratic National Convention is going to be in Chicago very shortly, and they are short. One of the reasons that they can't solve crime or they can't have preventative crime or measures is because nobody is there. So everything that they do, they got to do in retrospect. They can't do any preventative measures in order to keep y'all safe. And so if you down over 2,000 police officers in Chicago, Los Angeles police officers, all of them make over 100 bands. And they ain't even trying to do no crime work because they know what's going to happen. All they're going to do is get sued. And all y'all going to do is claim diversity, equity, and inclusion in Black Lives Matters. And so I think that the safest place to go and get a job is probably in some of these suburban cities and some of these Midwest states that have low crime. I'm just telling you.
I think if we had about 12,000, we would be well-staffed and able to meet all the needs that the city requires. We're far from that, as you know.
With 8,800 sworn officers, the LAPD is at its lowest staffing level in more than 2 decades.
Wait. He needs 12,000 officers. Now, my math is a little bit hazy. He got 8,800. So that's 3,200 short of what they actually need in order to really police the city. That's in LA. In Chicago, they down 2,000. LA, they down 3,200. Y'all asked to defund the police. Okay, there you go.
And it's having a direct impact on the department's ability to police.
Has the shortage of police officers simply made it harder to respond to certain types of calls?
You can catch Quentin tonight on the after hour show. It's going to be popping, y'all. Quentin is a wild boy.
It's more difficult to respond to all types of calls. Where we're seeing some slippage is our non-emergency calls. We've seen that number go from an average response time of about 20 minutes upwards to 40 minutes up to an hour.
Calls like this one, where a group of masked suspects use power tools to cut through the security door and safe at the Siete Mares restaurant in Boyle Heights, with the suspects taking off.
Everybody was on edge.
Hey, dude said, hold on, bro.
After that, we were able to call the cops, and they came, but unfortunately, they took off.
With no arrests made, Tanya Diaz and her family, who've owned this restaurant for decades, say the neighborhood feels less safe.
There's not as many cops out in the streets anymore, so we got hit, and then a couple weeks later, another restaurant got hit. We just keep hearing another restaurant got hit. Another restaurant got hit. Another one got hit.
In the first half of 2024, burglaries targeting businesses in the central region of the city are up 15%.
We spoke to a business owner who talked about a rash of burglaries in the neighborhood. That would be considered a non-emergency?
Well, if it was a burglary in progress, it would be emergency. If the suspects have already come in, taken property and left, and it's a report and an investigation, that would be a non-emergency call.
So you might have to wait longer
Yes.
for a response
Yes.
like that. But in terms of emergency, you mentioned that window,
7-minute response time.
And you're meeting that?
Yes, we are.
While violent crime trended down in 2023,
Bush.
property crimes were up, a revolving door of repeat offenders taking a toll on morale.
I understand the frustration that an officer works so hard to put somebody in jail because of criminal behavior, and then that person is walking out the door before they can finish their reports. That is frustrating, it's demoralizing, but we are not legislators. Our job, our task, our calling is to enforce the laws that are on the books.
Law enforcement agencies nationwide are feeling the crunch with unprecedented declines in police staffing since 2019. In a recent report, the Department of Justice calling it a historic crisis, saying departments are losing officers faster than they can hire new ones, citing labor market competition, officer safety and well-being, and increased tensions between police and the communities they serve.
So basically what they telling y'all, let me translate it from a C student's perspective. This is what they telling y'all. A, it's much easier for them to go into a safer community than to sit here and be fighting with these people over in these major cities. Nope, we're going to go to the suburbs. We're going to sit and we're going to, you know what I'm saying, be able to patrol. I drive down this street on a regular basis. I've started avoiding it largely now. But I drive down this street in my city or in the suburbs, right, and one of the places that I stay at. And it's always cops hiding down these particular streets that have a speed limit that I think that is way too low. And they just sit there and they issue tickets because they don't have nothing else better to do. They don't have no crime to go chase. They be chilling. And so they are in these communities. They make more money. The property taxes is higher, which means that we can spend more money on policing. And it's just chilling. And so they spend their time bothering you, giving you a ticket. And then he going to come up to me and say this. So what is the giggling about? Were you a schoolgirl? I ain't say that out loud because I don't like to be disrespectful. 10 and 2, baby. And so he said, he said, Anton, how many times you going to come down the street doing this? He said, listen, you know the drill. So listen. This is what I do. This is how they finesse you, right? This is what I've done for you. This is what you did for me. You gave me a break this time, officer. Yes, I gave you a break this time. So what we gonna do is we gonna make sure that now you was doing 10 over. Actually, it was 11 over, but I put it for 10, right? But I put the 10 over as a warning. Now that is a points ticket, okay? But what I did do was I gave you impeding traffic. Oh, like I haven't heard this one before, officer. But the impeding traffic ticket only sticks if you pay it immediately within the next 10 days. Okay, so what happens if I go to court, officer? Well, if we do have to go to court, it is a possibility that we will increase it. You will get the points on your ticket. And because we put it as a warning, we have the ability to put it up to the 10 over. So if you pay it within the next 10 days, you won't have to worry about it. It don't go on your record. You know, it just erases. Nothing gets mailed to your house. None of that. But if you challenge it and you go to court for it, I can't tell you not to go to court because that is your right. But if we have to show up in court, we do have the ability to be able to reinstate it back up to the 10 over. And then you're going to get points on your license. And it's a possibility that it can get reported to your insurance company. Thank you, officer. Don't worry about it, Anton. I'm just looking out for you. That's what they would rather sit there and do that than to be out here getting protested against with Black Lives Matters and chasing criminals all day and then being underappreciated inside of the communities. That's a whole, I'm giving you the whole spiel, big dog.
It affects training. It affects the assignments into specialty units. It affects the ability of the agency to even respond to relatively low-level concerns, but that are high quality of life concerns for the communities.
To entice new recruits.
Somebody said, take the ticket and hire a lawyer. Man, you know how much lawyers cost? I'd rather just pay the little $140, $150. They gonna charge me $200 an hour, $250 an hour just to work for me. It's a lose-lose situation. On the flip side, it's like, oh, okay, whatever then. I could just pay the ticket. On the other side, it's like, man, you gonna keep on playing this game with me? So it's a lose-lose situation. So you pay the ticket within 10 days. I ain't got to worry about my wife finding out what street I was on. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got to worry about the ticket coming over to the P.O. box. We chilling. We can have a good time. Oh, man, I just got pulled over again, honey. I ain't got to worry about it. I ain't got to think about it. We just going to keep it moving. You know what I'm saying?
The LAPD recently negotiated pay increases. New full-time officers can now make nearly 6 figures, about the same starting salary for a computer engineer graduating from the University of California system.
Not everybody thinks a lot of police officers are a good thing. There are those voices out there that say this money could be used in a more efficient way. What's your response to that?
I'm an
100,000,
absolute
you can make 6
supporter
figures.
of alternative response. So there are certain calls that I believe that police don't need to respond to. To the people that think less cops are okay, I have to disagree. At the end of the day, you have to have
And that's without overtime. That's a starting salary. That's the base salary.
safe community.
Somebody said, when is the next stock club? The next stock club, I was thinking that it was going to be Thursday, but Thursday is the holiday, even though we're doing the Millionaire Morning Show on a holiday. I think I might do it for Saturday because I was thinking Thursday, but then somebody told me during the day, they was like, oh, man, this is... So we going to figure it out. We'll figure it out. So it is a police shortage, and we got to be careful when we say defund the police, because now they really defunding the police. And it's costing us more, and they short 3,200 officers, and it's bad over in Chicago and Los Angeles and New York and all across the country. And police officers are saying, man, I'm not about to be out here putting my life on the line. They killing police officers. They running up in places. I'm about to put my life on the line for what? For you? So that I can be underappreciated? Man, get out of here with that nonsense. Anyway.